Not true, but funny take. Funny take. By the way, not anymore, baby. Not with the moon ball in New York. Not with Russie
The
and the
moon
Giants.
ball. Come on,
Russie and the
don't
Giants.
don't take me off track and make me have to rip you a new one for wanting Russell Wilson as the quarterback of the New York Giants.
Let me just tell you this, Pat. I understand Russell Wilson's deficiencies. I understand Russell Wilson's cornbaldness. What has happened since Tuesday when Russell Wilson has signed with the Giants, his press conferences, the talent on offense that fit the Russell Wilson deep ball approach, the New York Football Giants right now saw an over-under number go from 3.5 to 5.5, depending on the books you have. Slam the over right now. This Giant team is going to be in playoff watch in December. Slam it. I'm telling you right now. Slam the over. The Giants are winning a minimum of 7 games, and I would not be stunned at all if this team, knowing the talent they have now, wins 9 games at least, which may get you in at 9-8 to that final wild card in the NFC. Russell Wilson with Brian Dable is a match made in heaven. And the Giants are ultimately going to have the last laugh here. And the Giants will finish in the NFC East ahead of the Cowboys and either Washington or Philly. One of those other teams will win the division. The other will come back to earth. The Giants will be the second-place team in the NFC East if Russell Wilson starts 17 games. If Russell Wilson starts 17 games.
Playoffs? You
Telling
kidding
you
me?
right now.
Playoffs?
You can make your head explode all you want. They're going to be one of the sleeper teams in the NFL.
What do you do? Did you not watch the last 2 months of the Steelers season? Did you not see how bad Russell Wilson was?
I did.
And do you realize, one,
Malik
how
Neighbors
bad the
is better than
Giants'
George
offensive
Pickens.
line was? And until they upgrade at the receiver room, they have one weapon right now. They have one weapon. It's Malik Neighbors.
I mean, that's simply not true. The Steelers last year were dying with Russell Wilson to trade for Darius Slayton at the deadline to the Giants. Stupidly didn't trade for him because they were dying to upgrade that receiver room, get a number 2 receiver. That's already the Giants' number 2 receiver. Wan'Dale Robinson, excellent in the slot. You saw what happened with Freiermuth. Theo Johnson is going to be a stud at tight end for the Giants in the second year.
You told me
Giants
Theo Johnson was going to be the next Travis Kelce.
I guess what? They didn't have a quarterback, Pat. They didn't have a quarterback, Pat. Now they have a quarterback.
And they still don't have a quarterback.
Yes, they do. And I don't even love Russell Wilson. Yes, they do. And I still think they should take Shedeur Sanders, but he may sit all year. This could be an Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love situation. This team is going to be better than you think this year. I'm telling you right now. The fact that Russell Wilson came in and could rip off 20 guys on this roster. Don't give me the crap about the offensive line. Watch the games, Pat. The moment Andrew Thomas, their all-world left tackle, got hurt,
He's always hurt. He's always hurt.
The offensive line is better. The talent is better. And oh, by the way, their defense on paper, the Giants' 2025 defense, as presented pre-draft right now, is better on paper than the Steelers' defense was a year ago. The Giants are better than the Pittsburgh Steelers were a year ago. It is
That's
not
a nonsensical take.
They have TJ Watt and
they signed Javon Holland and
at.
Paulson Adebo, and now all of a sudden they're a top 10 defense. They couldn't
Burns,
stop a nosebleed last year.
They got Burns. They got Thibodeau. Maybe they end up with Abdul Carter as well. They got Dexter freaking Lawrence. Giants had a lot of injuries last year. I didn't want to do it, Pat. I didn't want to do this on March 30th. But I am in love with Russell Wilson after everything I've heard this week. And again, I know his deficiencies. I know he's not all world. All the Giants need is mediocre quarterback play, and they could win 9 games with this roster. So that's it. That's it. Deal with it.
The only way out of the dumpster for the Giants is if they draft a rookie quarterback with the top 3 pick, whether they trade up to Tennessee and get Cam Ward at number 1.
I think they're going to take Shedeur Sanders. I think they're going to take
That's a big mistake. That's a big mistake. That's the one quarterback I wouldn't take. But either way, that's their. If they believe in Shedeur Sanders,
because you're Mel Kiper Jr., right? You're Mel freaking Kiper Jr. That's the one quarterback I wouldn't take. Go scratch your ass. Well, okay, and if they pass on him, and he's great. They passed on Bo Nix last year, and we killed him for it after because he ended up.
Yeah, well, if your general manager actually had a brain last year and decided to just take Michael Penix at 6, get the quarterback because
we have no idea if Michael Penix is any good. Can everybody stop with this crap? I'm getting so tired of hearing about this crap about what the Giants passed on last year at quarterback. They got arguably the best receiver not named Justin Jefferson in the NFL now on their roster by taking Malik Neighbors. And as a result, they passed on J.J. McCarthy, who the Vikings still barely can commit to as a starting quarterback in year 2 off the injury. They passed on Michael Penix, who couldn't carry the Falcons at the end of the year to the playoffs when the NFC South was dying to be one. And Bo Nix, who we still don't know how good he is, but ended up with Sean Payton. Stop with this crap that the general manager screwed up last year. They now have Russell Wilson in place, who is a bona fide, at least decent starting quarterback on a team that couldn't win a game because they didn't have a starting quarterback. Drew Lock's going to play in the UFL. He was starting games last year. So don't get me hot and bothered about this. If they take Shedeur Sanders and he waits and sits behind Russ, that's actually an ideal situation for an organization that's actually recovered and built a decent freaking roster. Why am I pissed off on March 30th about football now? We were supposed to do a nice little baseball segment. And of course, you should know better too. You live in New York. This garbage from the outside where nobody has a clue about the Giant roster and what the problems are. You should know better with your Jeffrey Dahmer stupid glasses.
They drafted Malik Neighbors last year at 6, who broke all their rookie records and it was breaking NFL rookie receiving records. And they won 3 games. There is a reason why the Giants...
Let's do it now. I can't
There's a reason why the Giants continue to suck. Yes, if they would have taken Michael Penix, he is good, by the way. I mean, the Falcons literally threw him in there with the season on the line, and he performed pretty damn well against Washington in prime time against Jaden Daniels, who took the Commanders to the NFC title game. Bo Nix took the Broncos to the playoffs with one receiver and a good offensive line, but with one receiver. The Giants screwed up. Your general manager is going to screw this up again somehow. And don't tell me about the defense on paper is better than the Pittsburgh Steelers. How can you say that? The Giants defense has been a laughingstock for the last 2 years. They have no secondary. The guys that I've been hearing about, Kayvon Thibodeau, who's going to be a 15-sack-a-season guy, has yet to realize his potential. Their linebackers can't tackle. They can't stop the run. The Giants' defense is a very mediocre unit at best. And now you're bringing in an aged Russell Wilson, and you're getting excited because the win total went from 3.5 to 5.5? So you've went from one of the worst teams in football. Now you're going to be maybe the 5th worst team in football, and you're supposed to sell me on excitement about Russell Wilson and the development of Shedeur Sanders.